Welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized environment and third-person blueprint course. In the last lesson, we left ourselves off by setting ourselves up with a nicer area within a harbor over here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the gray box real quick just to check how this looks like, and we might need a couple of poles over on this side. So let me just go ahead and real quick do that. In regards to the poles, I'm just going to put them simply like so in the middle. And if we want to make them taller, what we can do is just simply we can hold Alt, we can just drag another one down like so, and it's going to create a nice type of a height variation for it. So there you go. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and make use out of it and simply set it up nicely within accordance to the gray box itself. Not going to worry about too much. Actually, I'm going to go click Ctrl Z, maybe drag it outwards a little bit like so. And there you go, holding Alt, going to go all the way around like so. And then afterwards, we can go to the very other side of the harbor just to see how it looks like overall. I'm just finishing this piece up. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the gray box real quick. And yeah, this looks like a nice section. Maybe I need some, I do need some parts over on the other side as well. Let me just go ahead and do that like so. And I think that's going to look quite all right. There you go. Okay, so now that we're done with this, let's go to the other side. So this part of the gray box has a bit more of an interesting shape. If you look at the gray box itself and not the harbor items, you can see it has those kind of bends. And the thing is though, if we look at the items itself, it doesn't really have that kind of a setup. We see that all of them are more squarish. It doesn't have a sort of a bevel that we're looking for. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to create our own unique shape out of it. So for us to do that, we're going to go onto the upper left hand corner. We're going to go on to the selection mode and change this to modeling. So let's go ahead and open that up. And then what we'll need to do is basically we'll need to grab this one piece and we'll need to set it up as its own unique static mesh. We don't want this static mesh to be changed, otherwise all of these types of static meshes are going to be changed. We want this one piece to be basically using its own static mesh. And right now, as you can see, every single one of them is still using the same type of an object. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and fix that first. So for us to actually modify this, we're going to firstly make a duplicate out of it. And there you go. We're going to go on to create tab within modeling mode, duplicate, and we're going to just simply have this to be a new asset location within the generated folder. So it's going to be appearing over here in this folder like so. And the rest, we're going to just keep it from input, delete the inputs themselves. So we're going to just have the selection and click accept, and that's going to duplicate it. And now if we were to just simply click on this object on the other side, for example, we see that it goes back to Egyptian harbor. But this one, if we click on the content browser, search for content browser, you can see that it actually now uses completely new static mesh. This is exactly what we want, because now we can modify it to our heart's. And now we're going to start off by first of all remeshing. If we look at the mesh itself, I'm not sure if it's going to be quite as visible over here. Maybe if I were to go to the top section, you can see basically in regards to the topology, it has a bare metal minimum. It's a very low topology type of setup. If you want to modify it, it's best if we increase the topology. So the best way for us to do that is using within the mesh ops, there is a tool called remesh. If we were to click on it, it's going to basically give us a bunch more triangles, a bunch more topology to work with. I'm going to leave everything by default, so mainly the 5000, and the rest can be kept as is. Let me just go ahead and click accept like so, and that's going to now, if we look at it, it's going to give us a bunch more topology to work with. Otherwise, if we weren't to be doing that, it would just give us a lot of artifacts and weird edges. We're going to simplify it after we're done with it though. So let me just go ahead and start modifying it. So for us to do that, we're going to go to the lattice mode over here, over in the form tab. We're going to go ahead and select it. We're going to keep the resolution XYZ over here the same. If we want to have more or less, we can change these, and that would give us basically those less type of grid surrounding the mesh. But the default one is going to be quite alright actually. And afterwards, all we got to do is just simply make a selection. So we're this time able to make a box selection. I'm not sure why it doesn't let you do that by default to just objects and whatnot. And it seems like, yeah, it seems like my project has crashed. So just give it a second to come back. There you go. All right, so by simply selecting these dots over on the edge, we can see them changing the color. It turns into more of a yellow instead of the red ones that we had previously. And it gives us a GIS mode that basically allows us to control everything from scaling to rotation to movement. So the section over in the middle, these arrows that are closer are going to allow us to move. The circles that are outside will allow us to rotate, and these triangle parts, or like these that are completely outside, are going to allow us to scale. We're only interested in movement, so we're only going to be using these, the green one and the red one, and we're going to be also using the square one itself that's close by, since that will allow us to use the X and the Y, but not the Z values. And yeah, we're actually just going to use this one over here and just move it. Oh, let me just click Control Z to go back to the selection I misclicked. It's quite tedious sometimes, but as you can see, just by simply moving this, we can get ourselves a more interesting type of a shape. And that's actually exactly what we want. We don't want it to distort it too much because the texture is going to be affected by it as well. So I'd say something to this shape is going to be quite nice. Let's go ahead and click accept, and there we go. We got ourselves quite an interesting, more of a shape. Then we need to go ahead and fix up the topology. We're going to go ahead and click simplify, and we're going to just take off the percentage, lower this down by quite a bit. We don't need all that extra topology, can be going away. And we're going to keep it a bare minimum, I think. Even like 2%, you can see that it doesn't really do anything too bad in regards to that. I'm going to go inside a little bit just to check. And yeah, actually 2% is quite alright. So let me just go ahead and get that. And now it's low topology. It's going to be super optimized and it's going to look great overall. So let's go ahead and turn off the gray box and see how this looks like. And yeah, this looks pretty good. Now the other side, we're going to go ahead and delete this part, and we're going to just make a duplicate holding Alt, duplicate it to the other side. We're going to click R and we're going to check which scale we need to change. So that's going to be the green one. As you can see, it has that green tint over here on this one, which is what we want to change. And we basically want to invert this value. So on the scale within a transformation tab, we're just going to add a negative symbol over here. There you go. I'm going to click enter. And that's actually, I'm going to click Control Z. We need to make sure we unlock the scale first. Otherwise, everything is going to be inverted, and that's not what we want to do. So we just want to invert the Y value, and there we go. We're going to get ourselves a very nice type of inverted setting. If we were to be doing animations or using this for code or something of the sort, inverting values like that is not recommended. So yeah, there's that. Although in this is just a platform, so we don't really need to worry about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it in regards to this platform setup. That's going to look much better overall. We're now going to go ahead and move on to this part. So we're still missing this one piece. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can find it over here on this section. So let me just go ahead and look through all of these parts real quick. If I'm able to find what I want, perhaps something like this. Yeah, this looks like the right one. Let me just go ahead and make use out of that. I'm going to hold Alt, drag it out, and then without holding Alt, I'm going to just continue dragging to the side, to the very end of the harbor, and just position it accordingly. And I'm going to check, make sure it kind of aligns more or less. Doesn't need to be perfect. I think it'll be quite all right. There you go, something like that. Yeah, I think this is going to look much better. Yeah. And this looks quite nice. All right, so to continue on, we're going to go ahead and start building ourselves with some structures now. And we'll start with this type of an object over here, but we're going to, of course, do that in the next lesson since we're running out of time. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be